Thinking about upgrading your home? Hello, I'm Philip Pantana. Whether you want a modern kitchen, a stunning bathroom, a sturdy deck, or even a brand new addition, our company, Perimeter Remodeling and Restoration, can make it happen. From quick interior repairs to full-scale renovations, homeowners trust us for expert craftsmanship and excellent service, always delivered with the care you deserve. Schedule your free consultation now at perimeterva.com. Call or text 434-515-2868.
Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM, you're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Local to Me. I am Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition, and we took a brief hiatus last week and actually went on vacation, both myself and Mike. And Mike is still apparently gone on vacation because he's not here. So we're just going to, go on without him. And it's a good thing he's not here because the beginning to this podcast has been a little rough for me today. As Emma laughs at me. But I've already spilt the water, broke the microphone. Woody's probably going to charge me for that. I don't know what's happening. My rug is all wet and, but the rest of this is going to be great. It's going to be great. We've got two wonderful guests and we've got a lot to talk about. So we're going to jump right in. We have lots of upcoming networking ways for you to get out into the community. So let's talk a little bit about summer. People tend to try and slow down during the summer. They get lazy because it's hot and, kids are out of school and you're doing things, you're vacationing. And sometimes the work tends to kind of lag. You don't always want to get up early. You don't want to get out and network and connect. And I tell people all the time, don't let that happen because you want to continue to be in the forefront of everybody's mind. You want to get out there. You want to, you want people to know who you are and what your business is. And so we have lots of things going on this week, especially because I did what I said not to do. I took a vacation and then, I'm back, but we have lots of opportunities. So tomorrow we have two. If you're in our area, we have a morning and we have an evening. So if you're not a morning person, then I expect to see you in the evening. And if you're not a evening person, if you got things to do with family, you got kids playing sports, head on out in the morning. But we'll be at the Alta Vista Coffee Talk tomorrow morning at the Spark Innovation Center from 8:30 to 10. And that's right in downtown. I say in downtown Alta Vista. It's right up near the municipal building, and you're right near the Y and all that. So it's I think 7th Street. Am I right, Terry?
I'm not sure. I just know the
You
way.
think I would know. I just know how to get there.
It's one street up from Main Street.
Yes. The Spark Innovation Center, though, is awesome. You need to come out and check it out. It's definitely a place if you're a small business owner. Maybe you're looking for somewhere to work during the day. You don't have your own office. You don't have your own brick and mortar. So it's somewhere that you can come out to and just, sit and work and even connect with others. And or if you're a creator, let's say you're somebody that wants to, let's say you want to make some t-shirts or some pins, or you just want to create something for your business. They actually have a creative lab in there, which is really cool. And I can't really explain it. It's something you just got to come and see because every time I go in there, I'm just kind of overwhelmed with all the things that you can do in that space. And Autumn, who runs the Spark Innovation Center, can actually sit down and show you how to do all those really cool things. So check us out. Come to Coffee Talk and check Spark Innovation Center out. And then in the evening from 5:30 to 7, we are going to be at a mega disaster restoration. They are right off of 29 heading towards Alta Vista, but right across from Highland Heights Baptist Church, basically, kind of diagonal. So we're there from 5:30 to 7, and great opportunity to come out and network and, I think they're going to have some beverages and some refreshments. So put that on your calendar. And then Friday morning, if you still are looking for something, you can't do Thursday, but you can do Friday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. We are in Lynchburg, right off of Timberlake Road at Central Virginia Flooring. So they have a great space right there in the shopping center where Harbor Freight is, right behind Seven Brew. come out and network. We normally, we're averaging, 35, 50 people, depending.
Easy.
So yeah, come on. It's free. And you don't have to be a member of the Central Virginia Business Coalition. So if you're listening in and you think, well, I'm not a member, I can't come out. That is not the case. We invite you to come out as a guest and network, build some connections, see what we have going on. So, eventually, hopefully you will join. We'd love to have you, but it's not a requirement to come out and network with us. So I wanted to throw those couple of things out for this week. And then we've got a lot of upcoming things that'll be happening in the next few, I'd say in the next month and a half. Bedford Centerfest, you can still get your booth for that. And so you're going to want to go to our website and register for Centerfest. And I know Mike and I have talked about it a couple of times in the past couple of episodes, but we will be dropping the theme for both Bedford and Lynchburg's Christmas parades. Hopefully, Mike, if you're listening, hopefully by next episode. So that's my goal. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so check out our website. You can always go on there to see updated events. We do have a ribbon cutting this Saturday here at the Bauer Center of the Arts in Bedford to celebrate the new deck that they have built right there off of the side of the building. If you've been back and forth past the Bauer Center, you've been seeing that being constructed. So we're really excited about that. So come out to that as well if you have the time. And stay cool. That's all I'm going to say right now. I felt like I was melting.
Yeah.
Even in the air conditioning, I feel like I'm melting right now. Like it's so hot outside. It wasn't even this hot at the beach. Like coming back here, it's almost a good 15 degrees hotter here than it was in the Outer Banks, which is kind of weird because usually it's pretty hot there. But anyway, so we are joined today. I have two guests on the show with me today, and we are going to kick off starting with Taryn Bishop. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. And so Taryn is the owner of Milk and Honey Skin Studio in Lynchburg. And we just did a ribbon cutting for her maybe a month ago.
Yes, it was about a month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago. And got to go in and see her space and learn a little bit more about what she does. So we want to share that out with everyone here in the community and let them kind of see what services you offer. So let's start with like just a quick overview, and then we'll kind of dive deeper into like the different products.
Okay, so I am a licensed esthetician and makeup artist here in Lynchburg, but I do travel and I do weddings and special events, and I've been a makeup artist for about 10 years now.
Okay. So I'm very envious of people that are like makeup. I'm not good at it. Like I'm really not. I don't hardly ever wear makeup because I just feel like I need to come to your makeup class. So I saw that you're having a makeup class.
I am,
soon.
yes.
So I feel like that's something I need to do because like all of these years, it's so funny. Every time I see like we have Mary Kay reps that are members, and we've had other different, people in the past that deal with makeup, and they always look at me and they're like, "Oh, you should be, doing this." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't what."
I'm glad you brought that up because it's a service that I saw that wasn't really being offered around here, and there's so many girls that want to learn how to do their makeup, and I want to spread my knowledge with them, and hopefully it helps them be more confident on a day-to-day basis. And if they have somewhere nice to go, they can do their own makeup instead of hiring me. So it's a long-term investment, I think, to learn how to do it on your own instead of always having to hire someone else to do it. Whether it be a dinner date or a special event or a special occasion, whatever the case may be, or just in general if you want to feel more confident.
Well, you know what I also think, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong here, but so I have a 13-year-old, right? And I constantly see her. She's always in the bathroom like, "Oh, I'm doing my skincare." And she is mixing stuff together and like making concoctions, and there's like lotions here and they're mixed with this and they're mixed with that. And like, I don't even know half the stuff. Some of it's different colors from when she starts. Like, I don't even know. So I feel like nowadays there's a lot of younger girls too that are watching like videos and YouTube and TikToks and things like that. And they're just coming up with their own, I feel like some of it's like crazy concoction stuff. And I'm like, I don't even know if what you're putting on your face is damaging or like if you're doing it correctly or you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a good thing for even younger the younger generation to see someone like yourself and have you explain to them the best way to do the skincare?
Absolutely. I think TikTok trends are damaging people's skin. I mean, because what works for one person doesn't mean it'll work for you. And the benefit of talking to an esthetician is we look at your skin and we find out what your skin type is and what your concerns are. And we create a regimen just for you. And if you're listening to Sally Sue on TikTok tell you her skincare routine, it doesn't mean it's going to give you the same results because everyone's different.
Right.
I will say I started doing makeup when I was 12 and it was a creative outlet for me. I didn't wear very much outside the house, but I think this day and age with social media, a lot of younger girls are being influenced. And I wouldn't say necessarily in a negative way, but definitely have some discernment with what you're reading and seeing online about skincare. I definitely wouldn't want a 13-year-old using a retinol because they definitely do not need to be using a retinol.
Well, I mean, she's got something with like little droppers. And I mean, I don't even say, again, this is how much I know about makeup because I'm not, you hardly ever, I always joke people see me with makeup maybe 3 times a year. And that's like our annual dinner, our Empower seminar, and like one random other time that I usually go out with my husband. So it's never, I'm rarely with makeup, but you know, my 13, she doesn't use so much of the, like, she doesn't come out with all the blush and the eyeshadow and stuff like back in the day when you'd wear the big blue eyeshadow and you thought you were really cool because you had like the bright blue eyeshadow. Like that's what I did when I was younger. But she does more of like the skincare stuff. Like she thinks like she's mixing these things or putting on these masks and I'm just like, and then, you know, she came out yesterday. She's like, oh my gosh, I have a pimple right in the middle of my forehead and I have one on my chin. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably because you're caking yourself with all this junk. You don't even know what you're doing. Like, I don't know. Or it's just because you're 13, you get pimples. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to me.
It is. But if you do want to learn how to do makeup, my class is July 26th at 4 p.m. at the Atlair Studio and Gathering Space in downtown Lynchburg.
Okay.
And tickets are $65. So if you want to learn how to do your makeup and have a new skill and be able to do it on your own instead of hiring me, then definitely come. It's going to be a great time.
Is there a certain age like group for that?
All ages, I think.
Okay.
I think if a 15, 16-year-old girl, you know, as she's getting older, if she wants to wear makeup and wants to learn how to do it, I don't see the harm. I mean, I started doing makeup at a young age. So
what got you started? Like what made you want to, I mean, I know you're talking about, you know, starting at the age of 12, but what kind of made you kind of pursue the passion to keep going with it?
So I was a pageant girl and I competed in pageants, which meant I was getting my makeup done a lot. And I realized that I wanted to be the one doing makeup. I was very inspired by my makeup artist, Katie, at the time. And so when I was 15, I remember going to school and I'd have my makeup done. And this girl came up to me one day and she said, will you do my makeup for Sadie's? And I said, sure. So I did her makeup for Sadie's and she tagged me on Instagram. And then next thing I know, girls from all the surrounding schools were coming to me for makeup for prom and Sadie's and homecoming. And I had my own freelance business as a teenager and I would travel to do weddings at 15 and 16 years old. And then I joined the Navy, but I knew that at some point in time I wanted to return to the beauty industry. And so I served in the Navy for 4 years. I joined at 18 out of high school. And then when I got out of the Navy, I went to esthetician school and I got my esthetician license because I've also always loved skincare. My mom always encouraged me to take care of my skin and she helped me with a very basic, simple routine when I was a little bit younger. And it's just always been a passion of mine for the longest time.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I did not know that you had been in the Navy. So that's a really cool, fun fact. But I also, you know, I also kind of want to put out, because I think a lot of people, when they think about like estheticians, they think about like Botox. Like I think they have this different misconception that it's like all this Botox and all this stuff, and that, you know, they're gonna come out and have like humongous lips and, you know, whatever. But, you know, if you guys could, like, you know, see Taryn, she's very down to earth. She's, you know, it's very simple, and I think that's so good because like I always try to tell my daughter, simple is better. Like you don't have to be like all crazy-fied, but that's why it's important to go to someone who can tell you how to do it correctly.
I will say natural beauty, I think everyone was made in God's image, and I think at a young age, like preserving someone's innocence is very important. I wouldn't encourage, someone very young to wear full glam, but at the end of the day, it's what makes you feel the most confident in yourself. And that might look different from person to person. But I definitely have a natural approach to skincare. I think less is more. I think no one needs a 12-step skincare routine. You're going to overwhelm your skin barrier. If you do that, I think 2 to 3 different products on a daily basis will suffice for most people. And it's important to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It also would help my bathroom counter if we only had 3 things instead of 12.
And estheticians, we do not do Botox or filler. I do work in a building with a nurse injector, but
yes,
I do facials, waxing, lash lifts and tints, at brow laminations. And I plan on going to get my master license at some point so that I can do chemical peels and dermaplaning and microdermabrasion, which are a little bit more on the advanced aesthetic side. But I do take a more natural, holistic approach to skincare. So all of the skincare that I use in my practice is organic, non-toxic. All the ingredients are grown on a small regenerative farm. They're all natural.
Okay.
So if that's
cool.
your thing, then Milk and Honey Skin Studio is right up your alley.
So Milk and Honey Skin Studio, you mentioned somebody else being in the same, but so you're located at the Society.
Yes.
And we have had Bethany on in the past talking about, the Society and, what that is. And it seems like she's continuously building that kind of space for women to come and have all different types of beauty and relaxation being done.
Yes, it's a collaborative space. So we're all independent contractors with our own businesses on the inside, but we're all in the beauty industry. So we have Carrie, like I mentioned before, she's a nurse injector and she does also like laser hair removal, etc. And then we have Bethany, who's a master spray tan artist, definitely like the best in the area. She's phenomenal at what she does. And then me, esthetician, makeup artist. And then we have a hairstylist.
Right.
So it's kind of a one-stop shop. We also just recently got a nail tech and her work is amazing. So if you go to the Society LYH on Instagram, you can look at all of our work and we'd love to have you in.
That's awesome. So I think a lot of people, we talked a little bit before we started, and you can do makeup for, like you were just saying, like proms or dances or weddings. I'm sure you get a lot of those calls.
Yes, I do a lot of weddings, but I've also had women come to get their makeup done just for a date night or a baby shower, birthday, prom, Sadie's. In larger cities, there's women that get their makeup done all the time just because they want to get their makeup done, like LA, Miami, places like that. But I do makeup for all occasions, or even if you just need a little pick-me-up and you want to feel a little bit more confident and better,
Awesome. That's that's what I need to do. I just need to go in there and be like, hey, figure out how to do this. Cause half the time I think I'm just digging through like 2-year-old makeup. And I'm like, oh, look, it's mascara.
Don't do that.
Let me put this on.
Makeup does expire. So definitely check the label and make sure that you're not using expired makeup because that can lead you to break out.
Okay. Now, I saw something interesting when I was checking out your Facebook page, and it said that you had recently won for Best Makeup Artist for Central Virginia Weddings.
I did.
So that's exciting.
It is. I'm so happy. I'm so honored. And I have the best clients in the entire world. They have been so good to me.
Well, and I think, when you see something like that, it's nice because then like there's genuinely people out there that are working with Taryn and they're saying like, hey, she does a great job, enough that they're voting for you, and
it means a lot. I've worked really, really hard, and I started my business when I was 24, and I'm a mother. And I just had to work really hard, but I'm very passionate about what I do. And it's very rewarding making women feel beautiful and confident on some of the most important days of their life. And I feel honored and special every time someone wants me to be a part of that, because that's a big decision to make. Someone that's going to do your makeup for your wedding day or another event, you either make or break it. These are photos that they're going to be taking with your work on their face, and you want it to look good. You want it to look the best that it can be. And so I do a lot of trials with my brides as well, because everyone wants something different. Everyone comes in usually with an idea of what they want, and I try to deliver that to the best of my ability, because I want to be proud of the work that I'm doing, but I also want my clients to feel like their best self. So
one of the things I've been checking out, so for those listening, if you're on Facebook, you can Milk and Honey Skin Studio. Check it out, like it. But one of the things I love as I'm kind of scrolling through your Facebook page is that you have a lot of just informational posts, which is nice to see. It's not all just like, oh, hey, here's, what I do, here's what I do. But like you just put up one about like beach essentials. Like what should you do when you're going to the beach? What should you have with you? But so I think for people that maybe you're interested in checking out what Taryn does, make sure you're liking her Facebook page and looking at it. But it's also very informative, which I think is really nice. It's not just very like sales pitchy, like, oh, here's what, come do this. You're giving back, as well. So I think that's really cool.
Thank you. I want to share my knowledge as much as I can because I do want people to have their best skin and I want to be able to help them. I mean, a lot of people with acne, it can be a damaging thing to your self-confidence. It's an insecurity of many, and I don't want anyone to feel that way. Everyone deserves to feel confident and have self-love.
So tell us, we've talked about that you're located in the society. Where is that located?
It's 3950 Old Forest Road, and I'm on the bottom level. So when you come to see me, you're going to go through the bottom level entrance, and my studio is there.
Okay. And what is the best way for someone to contact you to book an appointment and get set up with you?
So my website is www.milkandhoneyskinstudio.com, and that is linked on my Facebook page, and it is linked on my Instagram in my bio. And you can also DM me on Instagram. I'm pretty responsive on there as well. But if you want to take a look at the services I offer and pricing or book an appointment, just go to my website, and there is also a contact section.
Okay. Is there anything we haven't hit on? I want to make sure we hit on anything that maybe we haven't.
Well, just my class coming up. I would love to get a few more people signed up for that. I really think it's a great opportunity for women and girls to, come and learn how to do makeup. And it's, like I said, it's a service that I didn't see being offered around here. And you can't go wrong with learning something new.
Well, I'll definitely post it in our newsletter too to some of our members because I think that would be a really good opportunity. And I think it also would be something fun. We've talked we do the Empower seminar every year, and I've chatted about doing some women focused things just throughout the year leading up to Empower again because we're not just, empowered women on one day of the year. It's like 364 other days. We'd like to, look good and be empowered as well. So it'd be fun to do some things like that just for our members. So we'll chat more about that.
I think it would be good for like a mom and daughter thing.
I actually did have a mother and a daughter duo sign up for the class, and I thought that was so precious.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that may be what I do. I may be doing that for myself and my 13-year-old.
She'd probably love it. She sounds like a little bit of a girly girl.
She is 100%
okay. I think this would be right up her alley for sure. And it's going to be fun. I'm going to have light bites and refreshments, and it's going to be decorated very cute too. So
what date is it again?
It is July 26th at 4 p.m. and it's going to be held at the Atelier Studio and Gathering Space, 506 Madison Street, Lynchburg, Virginia, 24502, and tickets are $65.
Awesome. Okay, great. So we ask every guest 2 questions. And so I'm gonna ask you, how long have you been a member of the CVABC?
I think it's been about 3 months now.
Yep. So relatively new. We just she's joined and we've done a ribbon cutting. So we're getting all the benefits going. So I'm glad you're taking advantage of those. What do you see? And it may be something you haven't even used yet, but what do you see as being a good, one of the best benefits of being a member?
I think networking and learning about other people in the area and learning about their businesses. It's good to know people, and there's a power in networking and connecting with others, even if they're not in the same industry as you, but especially if you end up networking with someone who is in the same industry as you, because through networking, I've made a lot of friends that are makeup artists or estheticians themselves. So like, for example, if I don't have availability a day that someone comes to me and say, hey, do you have availability for July 11th, for my wedding, I can send them to my other friends in the industry, and then they do the same thing for me. I have a lot of friends of mine that send their clients to me when they're unable to take them. And so it's a mutually benefiting relationship. And I think if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And there's many women in this industry that I look up to. And I always want to continue to strive to be better and perfect my craft. So I find inspiration in a lot of other women. And I always say like collaboration over competition. And you get so much farther by networking, creating genuine, lasting, professional relationships than you do trying to compete with everyone. And also find what makes you you and find what makes you unique, and you'll go much farther.
I couldn't love that answer anymore. Like
perfect.
That was amazing. If Mike were here, he would be talking about, he has coined a phrase called co-opetition, which is, collaboration and competition all together where you're collaboratively working. And that pretty much sums it up. Like that was the definition of his co-opetition. So that was really awesome. So Taryn, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure if you're listening in, go to her Facebook page, check out her website, look into that class. If you've got time, and you're wanting to go look into your skincare routine, or if you have none like me and you want to go, get one, definitely check out the class. Or if you have weddings coming up. And here's the thing about weddings. It's never too late. Book out. Like if you're not getting married till 2026, do it now, like sooner than later, because people book up quickly.
I am already taking bookings for 2026. So if you're a 2026 bride, don't book now, or book now and don't book later, because my books do get pretty full. And I already have several weddings booked for 2026. So I am doing that now if you're interested.
Wonderful. And don't forget to, I know we kind of chatted a little bit. I didn't chat, but I heard some chatting going on beforehand. I know like people talk about like the economy now, and like people are saving money and they're spending less on themselves. Take the time for yourself too. Still do nice things. I still get a pedicure. I still go, if you want to go out and do something for yourself, ladies, do it, and support local small business, because, they're out here as well needing you. So Thank you. All right. We're going to cut to a quick commercial, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about chefing it up with, Terry Heiligenstadt, the Pampered Chef. Today's podcast is brought to you by Omega Disaster Restoration, located in Campbell County, Virginia. Omega specializes in water, fire, and smoke damage restoration, as well as mold remediation. Their region includes Central and Southwest Virginia, which spans a vast service area from Blacksburg to Charlottesville and Stanton to Danville.
In addition to disaster restoration and full-service reconstruction and remodeling, Omega is proud to offer custom all-wood cabinets through their Hanover Woodworking Studio, custom countertops via their Top Solution Studio, and dumpster services through Old Dominion Dumpsters, all part of the Omega family of brands. A beautiful showroom is currently under construction at their Exchange Drive location and will be soon open to the public, showcasing their diverse offerings.
Customers can call 434-616-4659 for emergency assistance with water, fire, smoke damage, or mold remediation needs. Omega provides 24/7 emergency response, ensuring that help is always available. Locally owned and not a franchise, Omega is your first and last call in any emergency, restoring your home or business from beginning to end. For more information about Omega Disaster Restoration and their comprehensive services, please visit omegadisasterrestoration.com/VA/Lynchburg.
One thing protects it all, your roof. And when you've got a new one, you're set for decades. I'm Andrew Lee. Our company, Perimeter Roofing and Exteriors, is trusted by homeowners and businesses for all roofing and exterior projects. Shingles, metal, slate, gutters, windows, siding, decks, and more. Perimeter Roofing and Exteriors is your go-to for all protection and efficiency. Get your free no-hassle inspection today. Call or text 434-515-2868. Perimeter Roofing and Exteriors, protecting from the top down.
All right, everybody, welcome back. And we are so glad Taryn could join us today. We are going to be talking for the second half of the show with the wonderful Terry Heiligenstadt, your Pampered Chef consultant. How are you?
I am awesome. Thank you for having me today.
So I'm always happy to have Terry with me. I feel like Terry is one of one of our delegates, and we may chat a little bit about that in a little bit, but
absolutely.
I feel like Terry, you're probably one of my longest standing business owners or members that I know, since I started in this industry myself, when I was with the chamber and even here. So we've spent a lot of time together through business, but also in cooking and,
absolutely.
and stuff like that. So
We met when we were like, I was 10 and you were 2 or
That's
something.
right. Yeah. I was really little.
Yeah.
Really teeny. So tell us a little bit. Let's start out just talking about like the Pampered Chef. What is the Pampered Chef?
Absolutely. So Pampered Chef is actually a direct selling company. We're part of the Direct Selling Association. It was started by a woman named Doris Christopher back in 1985. And over the years, we're now part of the Berkshire Hathaway family.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting because, Warren Buffett doesn't invest in anything that isn't good stuff, right?
Right.
So I was very pleased when that happened. But we're turning actually 45 years old this October. And it's been the passion and the mission of the company from inception is to help families prepare meals and get them around the table and spend time together and continue with that growth of family relationships. And it's not about necessarily the meal, it's about the time together. So if we can help you with our high quality tools, get you in and out, and whether it's preparing together or just sitting down for that meal, it's just about getting people connected and keeping them connected.
Yeah. So I do like to cook. That is one thing. I'm decent. I'm not going to say I'm great at it. I like to cook. I'm not going to say everything I cook is wonderful, but I do actually have quite a bit of Pampered Chef in my kitchen.
A collection.
I do. I have quite a bit. So I'm a very big proponent of the Pampered Chef. And I think it's because, kind of like you said, it's not going to cook it for you, but y'all have so many different options that make things a little bit easier. When you're in the kitchen, or even things that like I feel comfortable having my kids helping me with because the tools are easy to operate, and you have some that are kid friendly. And
correct.
It's one of those things that like, even though, so we're one of those families where we eat around the dinner table. Period. There's no other option. You don't go sit in the living room in front of, on the couch. You don't have like the only time we ever pull out the TV trays, which I'm not even sure why we have them, is if we have more than what would fit around the table at the house. But
our exception is like Super Bowl or something like that, right?
Something like that. So, you're having that family time around the table, but it's also nice in this day and age to have that family time, like with my kids when they want to come out and cook or they want to learn how to cook, and I can kind of pass down some of that to them while we're in the kitchen. And I think just some of the tools that like I love my deep covered baker. I use it all the time. I just got a new air fryer. I can't wait to use it. I haven't used it yet. I still got to clean off my counter to put it on there. Big air fryer.
That is a very cool. Having those small electric appliances, we definitely have stepped up the game in the kitchen, and the Deluxe air fryer and oven is just an amazing tool. And like I said, I had told you personally is that I do like tutorials, or like I did a class at my home with one of my teammates, and we invited people that was just a Deluxe air fryer oven 101. And it's that customization that we can offer to you. You can't necessarily go into a big box store and purchase an appliance and then have the salesperson's not going to come to your home and help you, but I'm always available for that or whatever. So I'm happy to help you unbox it and get it in use. So, yeah.
So what do you find are some of the tools that people tend to use the most, like for Pampered Chef? Like, what do you, is there any like certain, like I know like a lot of people used to love the stoneware, but I feel like people are, they're going more to these smaller, like you were just talking, y'all kind of gotten into the smaller appliances and things like that.
So it depends on what you're cooking and what stage of your life you're at. If you're a young family, you're cooking in volume or, whatever, or if maybe you're now empty nesting and you're cooking smaller portions. And so it really kind of depends on where you're at in that part of your life. But stoneware is still a very big part of our line. It's where we started, over a stone. Actually, the very first cooking party ever done by Doris Christopher was she made a frozen pizza on a stone. And it just has kind of evolved from there.
Yeah.
But now with the new deluxe air fryer and oven, they have made stones that fit specifically into that appliance.
Right.
So that continues on. And we meet market trends as far as where people are at. There's, cast iron cooking has become very popular, non-stick, but people are careful with what the non-stick is made of, and we've met that expectation too. So it just really is wherever people are at. We have over 500 products, I believe it is now.
Yeah.
So there's something for everybody. But I will say that if there are tools that are available when you're a beginning cook and you aren't quite sure and don't have those skills, these tools can help you feel confident. And so there may come a time when your knife skills just skyrocket and you might not reach for that specialty tool to do a certain thing because you've acquired those more expert knife skills to be able to just do it rather, and not cut your finger off.
Right. So if you're out there listening and you have no Pampered Chef in your kitchen, I'm just going to say, if you get one item that's my personal favorite, and I will use, and even I've gotten multiple of them, it's the food chopper.
Yes, that is a classic.
I love my food chopper.
Yes.
You need it, especially if you cut up a lot of onions. It's my fave. So
it does help in the tier department.
So let's talk about how people can experience Pampered Chef.
Yeah, absolutely. So as many people know, Pampered Chef is a party plan. So my favorite is an in-person party, which people are really getting back to that. They love the social piece of it, and that's really my focus. It's let's just cook and have fun, and I'm guaranteed to make some mistakes and keep it real for everybody. And I enjoy allowing the guests or having the guests, encouraging them to come up and cook because it's way more fun than a lecture series. So let's just jump in and everyone play with the toys, right? You could do what we call a catalog party. A lot of people would just pass a book, and it could be a digital link now.
Yeah.
But we do actually have paper catalogs still. Then you can do a virtual party, which would be online. And Pampered Chef a few years ago created an exclusive platform that they called Table, which is award-winning in the Direct Seller Association. So it's not on any other social media, so you don't have to have a social media account to participate. But it's like an in-person party in the sense that there's lots of tips and recipes and product information, and there it's done through videos and posts and chats and things like that. So it is an alternate to an in-person party without just saying, here's a book.
Right.
And then there's also, we have something called Pampered Chef Live, which is presented from the home office every Tuesday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time. You do have to register, and they send you a Zoom link to watch. It's about 35 minutes or so, and it's either from our test kitchens or from a consultant's kitchen. I have not been asked to do it yet, but there's always hope, right? And that's every Tuesday, but they go over a specific recipe or two, and they feature some products, and there's always giveaways, so that's really fun. And you can always watch the recording if you miss it.
Okay.
You can just access my website to register and or watch previous episodes.
Okay.
And we also have now for this summer kids cooking classes, and there are a few different Thursdays, I believe it is, and I can get you specific dates. Anyone can just access my website to find that too, or reach out to me directly. But those are also via Zoom, and they're catered towards children because we also have a brand new kids club, and our box that we have now that will ship to you is called the Dough Much Fun Box. And so it's all geared towards children, a lot of STEM educational materials that are included, and some full-size products and all the recipes to make multiple different recipes in that box.
Oh, so
and then we also do wedding registries and showers. But yeah, the kids club is really fun. It's a great way. Kids learn so much from cooking, following directions.
You use math and stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, there's still times that's like that you need 3/4 of a cup, and then I'm like sitting here going, well, how many of these make three? You have to use your brain sometimes when you cook, and it's important, especially when you're baking. I've found. So
yes,
I am a good cook. I am a horrendous baker.
So cooking gives you a lot more flexibility and freedom, a pinch of this, a dash of that,
right? Where
baking is definitely very precise.
Yep. Very much so, and I tend to not follow the directions as well as I should. So, but yeah. And then you also mentioned you do weddings. and registries
and showers. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to get the future bride and groom to stock their kitchen and get them off to a really great start with good quality products. They're going to last them, a lifetime. And what they do is they just register, and we link it to a party is the best way, in my opinion, to do that. And because then the guests are purchasing for the bride and groom, and they are getting all the host rewards.
Yeah.
So they get additional, they'll get the gifts and they get to choose free products. So that would be how our rewards program works, is based on, besides the fun, friends, and food that come along with an in-person party, but you would also get free products and heavily discounted options to purchase based on total party sales.
Yeah. And so I have hosted quite a few parties. I just did one back in March, February?
February or March.
Yeah.
It was at a transition point.
Yes. I did it very specifically because I wanted the new air fryer. And it was also I think 60% off.
Yeah.
So when I tell you guys the amount of things that I got to unbox after I was able to go through and get, I think I ended up with $600 or $800 worth of free, I think. I can't remember. It was a lot.
But once you add in the 50 and 60% off and the free product value, it is quite amazing. It's kind of like Christmas in July, right? So,
it really is.
Yeah.
I was able to really restock my kitchen. I was able to get, a couple of new things and a couple of things I've had my eye on for a couple of years, and being able to do the 50% off. But it was also really fun. I hosted a party, and I did it at my office and invited people there. And that was a lot of fun to have everyone there and making some, different recipes and just having a good time overall. Yeah. So I think a lot of people, they think stuff like that, it's oh, it's going to be very sales pitchy. Terry is not that way. It was very fun, very laid back, very much just a let's eat some good food and have a good time.
Thank you.
And so, I encourage you, if you've been thinking about having one, or if you need to upgrade your kitchen products, to definitely reach out to Terry and get on her calendar and host a party. What are the so what's the host rewards right now?
And through June is coming to a quick close here, but every month there's an item at 60% off for the host. The month of June, it happens to be an item of your choice, and that's when you have a qualifying party, which is just $200 in sales. And at that point, you also get to start earning half-price items. Free value kicks in at $300, and it's a scale at every $100. But in June, once you reach $650 in sales, you can double your free product value, which makes it $230.
Yep.
And then coming in July, that $650 mark will get you $100 in extra free. So,
Okay.
And then additional to the 60% and the 50% off offering. So it's still a really great time in July. Even, $100
Right.
extra is great. So at $650, you're still getting, you would end up with $215 in free product with a $650 party.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 3 half-price items and an item of your choice at 60% off. So it's kind of like, make your own sale.
Yeah.
It's not a coupon with a lot of restrictions.
Yeah, and I have fun going on there and playing with because you have your own little portal, so it tells you how much you have free and how much you have discounted. And you can kind of go in and play with it and take plug things in, take things off, just kind of build your package. And I had a lot of fun.
It is
doing that. And sometimes I reach out to Terry and I'm like, is this the best way to go about doing this? And she'll look at it and be like, let's move a few things around, and actually ended up getting me more than what I had originally put in my list. So
that's why, I do what I do, so that
yeah,
because it's my thing. It's not your thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right,
So I have a
absolutely.
trained eye for that. It's just I would never, do someone's skincare because I'm not trained in that. So
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
absolutely make a
definitely
referral
would
there.
just by
Yeah,
saying
exactly.
skincare. So let's talk about fundraising, because Pampered Chef also does fundraising parties or opportunities for local nonprofits to raise some money.
Yes, absolutely. And it's one of my favorite pieces of my business, in that I get to share that and help people through just, simply purchasing products that they're going to use that are going to help them in the kitchen, but then they can also help that charity of their choice. So an exciting thing, the basic difference is that in lieu of the free and 50% off items that a host normally would get, the Pampered Chef and I write checks to the organization instead of that. So that's the biggest difference, but it's the whole product line available. We can do in-person party. We can do virtual table party. There's all of those pieces are still available. It's just the rewards change, that it's a check to the nonprofit, which is amazing. So exciting for us is August, actually, again, reaching that 650 mark, that nonprofit can get a 30% return on their fundraiser. So that's a really generous offering. And just kind of a fun side note that we actually have partnered since 1991 with Feeding America to help fight hunger. It's our longest standing partner. So for 33 years, we've been helping with Feeding America, which is really near and dear to a lot of us, that the food insecurities is just really staggering. So through this, we have been able to do it through fundraising parties. We have give back sets, which provide meals. And then you can also just round up your order to the nearest dollar or a specific dollar amount, and that goes to Feeding America. So that's pretty exciting. And the last figure I actually have is from 2023, but in all of our charitable donations, and sometimes they'll step up for disaster relief and things like that. But since in 2023, Pampered Chef, through our guests and customers and everything, it's they obviously are big contributors to this. But we were able to donate over $5 million to more than 10,000 charities.
That's awesome.
In that 1 year. So yeah.
Now you said you have like the what'd you say, the feedback kits or
so we have give back kits, and that changes seasonally.
Okay.
So in the wintertime it might be like a soup and bread and that. So those change up a little bit, and you purchase that, and then a specific donation is given to Feeding America for that.
Okay, that's awesome.
So, yep. So it is really cool.
And I know that you yourself have actually also utilized your efforts with Pampered Chef and stuff to do local.
Yes.
You were very big with like Agape, because you've done something kind of similar where you've made little kits and had people donate money, and you've put together.
Yep. So in
food
January
kits.
for the last 4 years, I've done food kits or meal kits. And what I ask is a flat $20 donation. And this 2 years now, I've done the soup kits, and it's with that $20 donation, they get the 2 different soups and all the ingredients, the dry ingredients to put it together. And they could certainly add protein or whatever, but I don't put that in that because it needs to be like shelf stable. But through Agape, they can get the protein when they do that. So people donate. I go out and I order the Pampered Chef items, and then I do all the shopping, and I put it together, and I add the recipe cards and bundle it all up for them, and then I donate it to Agape, and they distribute it to their their clients. And then what I also do is I take all the dollar sales from the soup kits, and I put that into a party link, and then I use the free product value to purchase or to get vegetable peelers, scrapers, things like that, and donate that to Agape's household ministry as well.
Okay.
So all of it goes back.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I'm really thrilled when I can do that. And people, their clients love it, and they ask for it. And someone's like, I need that soup recipe again or whatever. So that's it's great to see that it's received well. And it's just kind of an extra little bonus for them.
Yeah.
A little treat. So,
well, it's really nice to see, you doing that, because we have so many nonprofits in our area that serve so many in our community that are underserved, and so I'm sure receiving like those soup kits is
and I'm grateful
awesome.
For my customers. Thankfully, having had my business since 2006, I have a pretty large customer base, and they're always very generous to help out. So
yeah. Well, I mean, and $20 isn't a lot to ask to be able to put some food on somebody's table.
Yeah.
So I think that's really amazing. So we've talked a lot about the Pampered Chef, but what got you started? Like, kind of, why did you just start to start cooking in the kitchen?
I know, right? And I was, so we lived in New Hampshire, New England, like my whole life. And in 2005, we just uprooted and landed in Central Virginia. And so the plan is I was not supposed to work outside the home. Mm-hmm. I got a year, and then it was evident that I needed to contribute to the family income. But for me personally, I needed something with lots of flexibility. And I hadn't had a traditional job in many years. I had been a stay-at-home mom, and I had done things like mystery shopping and little things like that when we were in New Hampshire. And so moving to Virginia, we actually, my husband bought a house on a dirt road, and we didn't know a soul. Yeah. And here we are. And so I'm like, and I needed to work, but a traditional job really just wasn't going to fit into the dynamic that we had going on. So I walked by my fridge, and there was this magnet on the corner of my fridge that had made it to the move. And it was from my now very good friend who was an executive director at the time. She's since retired, and she had helped me with a fundraising party in New Hampshire. She said, you should really do this. Do you ever think about it? I'm like, no way, never, ever, ever, never. And so I walked by that magnet, and it just caught my eye. I'm like, huh. Mm-hmm. And so some time in prayer and like seeking that wisdom and whatever. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to give it a whirl. Why not? I live on a dirt road. I don't know a soul. Let's start a party plan business.
Right.
Right. It made complete sense to me. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I bought my kit, and off I went. So yeah.
Okay.
And it's obviously the apron still fits because I'm still doing it, and it was a good choice. And I just love how it can be, a side hustle for someone or a full-time, job for somebody. And it just really is whatever fits for you. And it's fun, but it is my business.
Right.
So I do work it like a business, but it is a very fun job. So it's like people are like, oh, I have to go to work. I'm like, no, I get to go to work today.
Yes. Yeah. So how can somebody book a party with you?
Perfect. Yeah. So you can just give me a shout directly. You can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. You can email me. You can find me on the CVABC website,
or at any networking event.
Exactly. Yes, that's true. I do try to be wherever I can.
Yeah. So, if you're networking, she's going to be there more than likely.
Yeah. So they can just reach out, and we just coordinate our calendars and see what works best for you. It's easy peasy to set up. I bring the demo ingredients for the 2 recipes that we'll make. And it's just, I provide you with the coaching tools to invite and things like that. And I like to make it easy. It's not like, I'm even like, don't even wash your floor because I might drop something. Don't feel like you have to clean.
And I'll say the same thing about Terry that I did with Taryn. That's kind of what Terry did.
Yeah, that was convenient.
But yeah, so I'll say the same thing is that like if you're following her Facebook or her stuff, she's always very informative as well. There's always some sort of tip or cooking tip that she puts out there for you. And so it's another just good opportunity to like just gather some insight and some things like that.
And I don't edit out the mistakes. So I remember doing we had a new tool that was really popular, and I was showing it. It was a 5-in-1 opener, and the cap flew off the counter, and I'm like, oh, there you go. It works.
Well, I will ask you same questions I asked to ask Taryn. How long have you been a member?
I actually can't find out. I'm like, I don't know. Right. And I was going to ask you yesterday at our delegate meeting. And I was like, so I was actually an RMA member, Retail Merchants Association member. And then I foolishly went and tried other opportunities, whether, like a direct networking group and so they just really didn't provide for me what I needed and stuff. And so I came back to CVABC, and I honestly don't know how many years it's been.
Well, let's see. I am going on my 7th year. So at least.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
At least 7.
Again, we were young.
Yeah. So. It's been a while. So very long term,
yes.
very, very long term. And I love the fact that she mentions that she came back to the organization. So it just kind of shows that we do a decent job.
You do.
Bring it back.
And it was the best fit for me. And like I said, I tried other opportunities and options just to make sure that it was, I was making the right decisions for my business to be able to grow and to be able to serve more people.
Yeah. So. Well, tell us what do you see as one of the biggest benefits of being a member?
Yeah. So I always know these questions are coming because I do listen to you guys, like, right? And so it's kind of like with my business, people are like, what's your favorite tool? And I'm like, it's the one that's making me look good at the moment, right? It's the one that's helping solve a problem at the moment. Yeah. That's my favorite tool. And it's sort of that with there's so many benefits available. And so it's kind of the one that at the moment that I'm using to grow and advance my business. So, today the podcast is a great opportunity, and I'm, thankful that I'm able to do that. Recently using the billboard, that just is another level. Networking probably is the biggest, more consistent reach for me.
Right.
But there's just so many things, and it's just whatever is helping at that moment is probably my favorite one. So,
well, as I mentioned at the beginning, Terry has been, she's been with the organization now for a very long time, but she does give a lot of her time and her efforts outside of the Pampered Chef to help us. She's one of our delegates. And when I mentioned delegates, I think you may have heard Mike and I talk about the fact that we're very small staffed. So we have delegates, a delegate program, and they are members that are volunteers, and they come and they help us out, and, always lend a helping hand. And when I say Terry is like the epitome of my helping hand, she's won Volunteer of the Year for us. Multiple times, I feel like, or at least I know of. Well, you won Volunteer of the Year when I was at the chamber with you, and then again with us here at the CVABC. But I never fail. Like if I'm like, oh, I need help with something, Terry's going to show up, and that's just the kind of person she is. And it's also the kind of effort she puts into her business. And so, are you? You're
making me emotional.
Oh, don't cry. Don't cry. I'm just trying to say, like, there are people that you and I just say it because it's truth. There are people you couldn't do your business without, and Terry is one of those for me.
We have a great delegate team, though.
We do. We do have a great delegate team.
Everyone, the thing that's so great with the organization and the delegate team and stuff. People are from all different levels and walks, and some people have a lot more commitment. I don't have a storefront that I have to open. I don't have, that. So I have that availability a little bit easier maybe for others. So it's, it's not like one person is doing more. People do what they can. And sometimes that person that can give 2 hours is sacrificing way more than someone who's there for 10. Yeah. And so, I don't want to discourage people from being a part of it.
And we had 5 new delegates sign up yesterday. We did an open house, and I'm so excited to learn more about each of them and different ways. And that's kind of the other thing. People do bring different talents to the organization and to the volunteering. We have, some that are able to be more at events. We have some that are more apt to come in the office and help with membership, or they're, seeing businesses on social media and they're reaching out to them. We have some. I had one yesterday. She texted me last evening, and we had been talking about an event we want to do in the future for the Hillcats, and we were, kind of talking about how we don't provide alcohol, but so any of our members that came, we're going to have to purchase it. She messages me. She was like, "Hey, this night is like half price beer night, so it'd be a great night. So think about that when you're planning." But it's even like small things like that, because when you're one person and you're I have Megan, my office manager, and we're always trying to go back and forth with things, but kind of like I mentioned yesterday, I love it's the ideas, and it's having a group of like-minded individuals. I mean, or not even like-minded. Some of us are very different in our talents and things that we do. So having a group like my delegate team that can sit there and throw around ideas or toss things out. And sometimes we don't always agree with these days. It's not always like, oh, that's a fabulous idea. Sometimes we have to bat that idea around until we form.
And sometimes we spit out our lunch because we're laughing so hard about it.
And
right?
And then
but you have to be able to, it's very safe. It's a safe space to share ideas.
It really is. It really is. And having that support is amazing. And so I will mention, I mean, like I said, we had a delegate open house yesterday. We had, I think we had like 4 or 5. I know definitely 4 that signed up. But if you're out there and you're listening and you're thinking, I'd love to be a part of that team, check us out because it's very laid back. We don't have quotas. We don't have like a certain number of hours. Now, we don't want you to sign up and we only see you once throughout the 12-month period. But, we're also not going to be calling you every week saying, hey, come do this. Hey, come do this. Hey, come do this. Because we know, you like Terry said, most of our delegates, if not, well, all of our delegates have some sort of business they run, whether it's brick and mortar, whether they're working from home, or whether they're working with a nonprofit agency or those sort of things. So, yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the show with me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I am excited to be back. We will be back next week. Mike should be back next week. We will see.
I don't know. You've been kicking it without him, So
yeah, I know. But yeah, we will be back again. Join us. Make sure that you are going to grovestreet.fm and you are liking and subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you can listen in to all of our episodes. If you are interested in being a sponsor of the show and having your commercial read, please reach out to me. It's heather@cvabc.org. And you can also find out more about our events and our guests today at www.cvabc.org. Thank you so much for listening in.